Welcome back, Careblazer. In today's video, I want to talk about a topic that a Careblazer inside of my care course recently asked me. So we were in one of our live question and answer sessions, and she cares for her mom with Alzheimer's disease. And she asks this question. I think that many of you probably have a similar question, and I want to share part of my response with you. So she asked, I don't know how much to push her to do the things that I think she's still able to do. I want to keep her mind and body engaged with activity and exercise. She's lost so much strength lately and has had such a hard time standing up, but she gets very resistant to doing things that are good for her because they are hard or not easy. This is such a good question. Before I dive into that, I want to ask that if any of you are new here, welcome. I'm so glad that you are here. This is the place where we talk about everything dementia. I have over 100 videos on this YouTube channel that you can explore. So chances are, if you have a question about dementia caregiving, I've already done a video on it. If you haven't already, hit the red subscribe button on your screen. It's totally free and it makes it easier for other people to find this channel. Also, before the end of this year, so through December, I am offering 20% off of my mini booster series on how to lower your dementia caregiver stress and respond to difficult dementia behaviors. That mini booster series is available at the link below, including the coupon code, which is LOVE. So I hope that all of you will take advantage of that. All right, so what do we do in this situation where you want to encourage your loved one to be as active as possible, but you don't know how far you're supposed to push, right? So hearing this Careblazer's response or question, it's very clear that she feels her mom can do more than she's actually doing. So two things I want you to keep in mind in these situations. The first one is your loved one's ability level. Whenever you think your loved one can do more than they're actually doing, chances are you're going to find yourself feeling frustrated or resentful because they are not doing something that you in your mind know for sure that they can do. So what I want to share is that in dementia, it is entirely possible that somebody does have the physical ability to do something, but that their brain doesn't initiate that. So what I'm asking all of you to do in this first step is to really assess whether your loved one can actually do the task, or they might need some more help and assistance from you to do the task. Let me explain what I mean. For example, let's say you're trying to get your loved one to brush their teeth on their own, and you know that they can do that because you've seen them lift a water glass to their mouth to drink. So if they can lift a water glass to their mouth to drink, they can certainly brush their teeth. That's what would go on in most people's head, right? But the thing is that sometimes in dementia, the brain isn't telling the body the steps to take. They might be in the bathroom, they might see the brush, they might see the toothpaste, they might see the sink, but the brain isn't actually telling them, first step, pick up the toothbrush. Next step, run it under the water. Put the toothpaste on it. Right? There's actually so many steps involved that sometimes the brain doesn't correctly tell the body what to do. So this is where you have to investigate what's stopping my loved one from doing the thing that I want them to do. And here you can play around with actually prompting them, where you would go through the steps with them. Ideally, perhaps brush your teeth at the same time so that you're mirroring them. They can mirror you doing it, so you can actually walk through the steps and see at what point they're getting stuck. So this would tell you, okay, she has a physical ability, she might need a little bit more prompting. Or when I ask her to do activities, I can't ask her to do something that has multiple steps all at once. I'm gonna have to break those steps down. So basically, whatever task you're trying to get your loved one to do, you want to make sure it matches their ability level, physically and cognitively. So you might want your loved one, this Careblazer mentioned wanting her loved one to stay mentally fit. So you might give your loved one a puzzle. There's a really big difference between a 500-piece puzzle and a 25-piece puzzle. You might put a 500-piece puzzle out and your loved one might not want to do anything at all with it. It might be too overwhelming, doesn't know where to start. You might put a 25-piece puzzle out. Your loved one might be more active, right? So you just have to think, like, what can I tweak about what I'm wanting my loved one to do to see if perhaps this might be too overwhelming for the brain, or the brain just isn't telling them all the steps to go through. So you're going to have to do some trial and error to figure out what your loved one responds to best. It's likely going to take a couple of tries. So don't give up, don't get discouraged. It's just part of the process, but it's so worth it to be able to figure out the best approach for your loved one. As another example, your loved one might have a really hard time sitting down and watching a workout video on TV, but they might be willing to help you carry towels down the hallway, right? So you might also need to get creative in what you consider to be exercise. So if you're trying to get your loved one to be more physically active and they don't want to go on a walk with you, would they be willing to help you set the table? Would they be willing to bring you a glass of water? Would they be willing to carry some towels down the hallway, right? All of these things are keeping their muscles engaged, but without the traditional what you would traditionally think of as exercise. And this brings me to the second tip I want to share with all of you whenever you're considering getting your loved one more involved. And that is, you don't actually have to tell your loved one exactly what it is that you're trying to get them to do. You don't actually have to share with your loved one your ultimate goal. So instead of saying it's important to stay physically fit, it's important to keep your mind healthy, like these are important things to do, let's make sure we're doing this right now, you just ask them to help you with things that serve that goal. So this goes into, perhaps instead of bringing your loved one a cup of coffee in the living room where they're already seated, you invite them to join you in the other room or in the kitchen to have coffee with you. You request some help with setting the table, folding the towels, walking the towels down, right? You don't even let them know they need to do this to stay healthy or to stay fit or to keep their mind mentally active. You're just asking for their help and asking them to engage in it. So it's a little bit more sneaky, but it ultimately gets the goal of keeping them active and engaged, especially if your loved one is somebody who's shutting down at the idea of exercise and staying fit. Now, I've done several videos in the past on dementia-friendly activities. I'll be sure to link them below, including a chair yoga video I did in an interview with Robin Downs, and she offers a really brief chair yoga exercise that you can do with your loved one. Both of those are linked below so you can get some other ideas for activities to do with your loved one. So get creative with how you get your loved one active. And if your loved one is somebody who wants to feel needed and wants to feel helpful, like many people do, you can certainly use that to your advantage by asking them for help with activities that you don't technically need their help with, but you know that would get them moving and would help them. So to recap, the two things to keep in mind whenever you're trying to get your loved one to get more active or to stay active is, one, are you matching the task with their ability level? So you don't only need to consider their physical ability level, you have to consider their cognitive ability level. They might need step-by-step guidance, they might need tasks broken down, they might need tasks that are not as challenging or overwhelming. The second thing is, can you package the exercise or activity as something else entirely? For instance, having them helping you with cooking, having coffee in different locations, asking them to hold something. Again, this is where your imagination and creativity will come in handy. Let me know how you manage to get your loved one to stay active, what sorts of strategies and approaches work best for you. You can leave them in a comment below, and make sure you check out the link below this video to take advantage of 20% off of my mini booster series on managing dementia caregiver stress so that you can hit 2021 on the right foot. You have access to the course forever, so you can go back and review it as often as you want and take your time going through it. I really do hope that all of you have a healthier, happier, safer 2021 than 2020 has been for many of you. And I'll be back next week with another video. All right, Careblazer, take care. Keep up the good work. Bye.